Well, I'd like to welcome you to a brand new series. Well, not really series, it's actually the first series I've ever done of a fishing sort of video. I'm actually going to base all my fishing videos now around Thames, quite lakes I'm going to be going to, night fishing sessions, etc. I've also got a few sea fishing trips to show you as well. I'm aiming to do one a week. Sadly, that's not always the case due to weather in this country, but it's a bit sort of, the rivers here, they're not great. At the moment I'm on Walton on Thames. I'm not sure what time it is. I'll tell you exactly what time it is. I think I'm going to guess it's about 12:10, and it's 12 o'clock. So you know, I've got around about 7 hours. I'm going to be fishing into the night, or stay into the night. Once it's got dark, I'm fishing through the dark until probably about 7 o'clock. I've got. I'm going to show you. Now, because the flow stays reasonably fast, what we're gonna do is we're going to use a rather heavy method feeder. Now, I've got some ground bait in here, which I might not actually. Hang on a second. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a rather heavy cage feeder. Now, this is about 3 ounces. I'll expect I'm only going to put it down in the slack, so I won't be needing it too much. Now this is really just literally so simple. I've just threaded it right through the line. We're going to feed it on like so. I'm going to put 2 split shots or beads. I'm going to put 2 split shots. Fill a PVA stick up. Now it's winter, so it's not. So I'm using a PVA mesh stick. It's winter, you don't want too much in there. Now our target for this video, as I've said before, is a bream of about £5, chub £4 plus, and any sort of barbel. Now, a couple of casters, a couple more boilies. And what you want to do is just push that down, feed it down. Feed it down so light, so it takes a little bit of practice, I'll be honest with you. I'll just pull that out, put it a bit more down like so, tie a little knot in the bag, a bit more down actually. Small knot. There you go, and we can just cut that off. We'll just cut that off there. And before you do that, you do need to do a double knot, so that the next time you do it, it'll make it easier to do. That. Right, so PVA bag like that. On the hook, we're going to put white chocolate boilie. Get a bait needle out. No, ESP baiting needle. There, any ones will do. Pull that through. Bring that here. Attach it to our hair, which is just an average, normal sort of setup. I'm going to put, and you also want a boilie stop or something. I'm going to put an Avid carp corn stop, which I think is, normally best for summer months, but if that doesn't work, I'll just switch to an average one. I'll put that white so that it shines up on the brightens up on the bottom. This rod's really just for the barbel and stuff. Pull it down, and there you have it. And then we'll just get our PVA stick, PVA bag, clip it on. Wrap it down a few times. You don't really want to tie it on the knot actually. So when you're putting it through the hook, you just double do it, but don't put it on the knock because the knock's the last to dissolve. So there we go. Let's get it out onto the Walton Thames. One of my right hand rod is on a boilie and an Avid carp stop. That's really for barbel, etc. They do like big bits of meat here, but haven't got any meat. And on the left rod, that is literally a weight and 2 maggots. There's no point putting a swim feeder out there today. It looks really calm, but the current is not. So that's one of the problems we've got. But yeah, basically I casted out probably 20 yards, and that really just didn't want to know. It was just sailing down the river to the bridge in the distance over there. So really, I've had a couple of knocks on the left rod, as you'd expect with maggots, but nothing. There won't be any big fish, definitely. There won't be any big fish on that, I doubt, unless there's a few bream come along. I did say the targets for this video was going to be a £5 plus bream, a £4 plus chub, and a barbel of any kind. Sadly, the chances look dim, but hey, we'll carry on and see what we can get. And I hope I get a fish on the bank for you today. If not, it will still be up on YouTube because I show fishing how it is. I'll do videos and I'll post them up, even if I haven't caught anything, because that is sometimes what fishing is like. But either way. So my setup really, it's my barrow there. I'll come out here and show you. So I've got my Day One Mission umbrella set up. I've got my bivvy table, my Nash daddy chair, which is pretty good actually for commercials and that sort of stuff. And I've also got these 4 poles, which probably should be going on this Day One Mission umbrella, but I haven't quite worked out yet where to sort of put them. So it's been a bit of a tricky session so far. We've got maggots, we've got boilies, I've even got a bit of ground bait. But to be honest with you, you put it out there, you've got to interpret the distance between the ground bait and boilies, and you've got to interpret the distance. How are they going to sink down? Now I have got a corder thing where you put the boilies in and you push down and it cuts them in half. They're pretty good for rivers because obviously boilies, they're sphere shaped, they're just going to roll and they're just going to go off a mile down the river. So I've got these boilies as a sort of base. I'm going to be chopping some up and I'm going to shoving a few in, maybe 20 yards up, and hopefully it'll drift down and hit my swim. If we can get a few barbel out today, it'll be fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to possibly getting one of those out. I'm now going to bring in my rods and recast out, put a few maggots down, a bit of ground bait, and see what we can do. There we go. I've literally just finished down. I thought I'll wind this rod in. And if anyone knows what this is, on the camera, I'm sure it is. Please comment below because. Right, well we're going to wind in this maggot rod because that generally sometimes produces a little bit. Pass that one back out again. I'm not going to get it out too far because, well, it's pointless. The current is very strong, even if it's down there. What I'm really going to do now is just checking the bottom. I don't know, sort of, if you pull through silt, then that's a good place to go. Further than that. Yeah, there you go, perfect. That box is sitting still. Just pop that on there. tactic-wise, sorry about the lack of talking there, I should edit that out. Tactic-wise, we've got a camouflage leader clip, 2-ounce weight, and a boilie and an Avid white carp stop. Those boys absolutely stink, so do apologise maybe for the possibly the lack of quality. I'll only find out when I put it on my computer, due to having to change camera due to cold batteries, which is unusual, but it does happen, I can assure you. So hopefully I'll get back to you with slightly bigger fish. So yeah, carry on watching, and you never know, a big fish might be heading our way. Right, well, I've literally put both of my rods in this tiny little slack area, which is around about, I don't know, 10 yards from my spot. I'll show you in a second. Now, I've just got a few maggots, boilies, a few casters in there, a bit of dead meat. What we're going to do is we're going to trickle a couple in. Now, like this, I can see the flow of the current, and also I can see any small fish picking up the bait because it's very bright. The maggots have a very bright bait. So that's all I need. I've also got a bit of ground bait, and I'll just show you now where my stuff is, which is right there. And my spot I'm fishing is just there, very, very close in, probably only about 3 foot. I'm very excited about that actually, this slack bit of water. I think that's a fish, that could be an area, it could definitely be an area where the fish gather. You know, it's a slack area, as I said, and that's really what the fish are looking for. Actually, now I did lie to you earlier. I didn't lie to you actually. I said that there was a white chocolate, well, I said there was a white boilie. It was actually one of those white ones in here. I thought it was a white boilie, didn't I? On my ledger rod. Well, they're both ledgering. I've now swapped my barbel, the big rod with the big pit reel. I've actually swapped to one of these barbel and carp hook bait pellets. They're from Sonia Baits apparently, and they're hemp and cheesy garlic. And I tell you something, they stink. Have a smell of that. Yeah, I think you're going to think exactly the same thing as me. I could gobble one down pretty quickly. Smells exactly. Oh, it says exactly what it does on the tin. Question is, it says you're perfect for hair rigging, high in oil and flavour, and you're guaranteed to catch fish with them. Well, we'll soon find out if it's the guaranteed part. But that goes in my little Dean Macy gear, tackle handy. All the different little pots I've got there for little essential bits and bobs. And it's, you know, it's useful to have if you're going on like a little stalking session across the river or anything. So that's, yeah, it's pretty useful actually. And another little thing is just my little boilie bag. These are perfect if you go float fishing and you know you're not bringing all your carp gear. Put one of these in your course kit. You can get little boilies in there. Look, they're good for attracting smells. You can put absolutely anything in there, all waterproof inside. You know, it's just good for your food, good for bait, and if you're going course fishing, you know, take a few boilies on your course fishing as well, because I'm pretty sure you can make up a herring on the bank while you're at it. And let's just go through my rig. I've got really just a general hair rig on the hook. Hair rig on the hook. That would be interesting. I'm using a hair rig for my tactics I'm playing today. Now I've got a size 8 swivel, and I think that's around about a size 10 hook. And I've increased the line of hair, so basically when you put larger baits on, you can fit it right on there. And I've put a little knot. I don't know if you've able to see that, it's pretty tricky to see. I put a tiny little knot on the hair, so you can use that as a bait stop. So instead of having to put a bait stop on, which can be a bit fiddly and at times rather annoying, all you can do is just slip it on, and if it's like a boilie or anything hard based, you know, you're not going to have a problem with doing so. You just slip it on, and you know, you've got yourself a decent hair rig. And yeah, also you can have a bit of shrink tube around that as well, just to make it a bit more subtle, a bit more bouncy. You know, if that's what you want to do. I mean, you know, it's totally up to you, of course. But you know, it's you know, the temperature's warming up a bit now. I think the problem must be about 8 degrees. It's quite warm. I know I've got a jumper and waders on, but you know, it is quite warm, and there's no denying it. It's warm temperature. The fish should be biting because it's suddenly gone up in temperature. You know, it's always worth, you know, coming out when there's suddenly a warm spell, because the fish are much more likely to take your bait as well. And yeah, so really it's just about getting out there as much as you can with fishing as well, especially with river fishing. If you're not close, like, I mean, I'm not close to a river where I live, so, you know, I mean, I'm in the country, and you would think there'd be rivers, but there's not. Nearest one to me really is the Wandle in Wimbledon, which is still a long distance away from where I live, but that is the closest river, or the Thames, you know. So it's getting that, trying to come as often as you can, putting the same baits in. There's no point willy-nilly changing your baits constantly. You've got to stick with a bait. You've got to give them a source, so they, you know, they'll think they'll keep on trying to hopefully go for your bait. And you know, if you keep on sort of changing your baits, they don't get used to one bait. You need to keep changing the baits and making them having to search for that one bait, and then it'll take quite a while maybe for them to sort of bring up, start to bite again. But once you've kept on feeding those baits in, stick with one bait, and you'll after a month the fish will start looking for that one bait. You know, it's like maggots. They've evolved over thousands of years really to get to the stage where they're looking for maggots. Put a maggot in any water, you're going to catch, aren't you, really? I say that today I've only caught one little loachy thing, but you know, I've had a few bites at the same time. And that's the thing. If you keep on putting the same bait in, they will start looking for that one boilie, that one hemp, that one meat, and it's a good tactic to play. So you go along with it, and if it doesn't work, then I guess I'll be responsible. But I'll let you decide what the verdict of my punishment will be if it doesn't work for you. But give it a go anyway. If you go to a complex or fishery, or you belong to a club, feed that one bait in, and you should get some results. Well, sadly, it's now, I decided not to fish in the dark in the end, to the dark, because I've come up with a little bit of a plan. Half an hour away from here is a club venue which we go on, Brockham Angling Society. You've got to live near there, so we don't live too close, but we live, you know, quite near. We decided to go there, so we're going to pack up and we're going to go there, and we'll take the camera with us, and we'll see if we can get any fish for you, because here, to be honest, it's dead. I mean, you know, there could be fish, and there is. I mean, last year all I had was a whip, and in the car I had no bait, and I went and dug up a worm, shoved out there for 2 minutes, £5 bream, you know, and then went home. So so that was fantastic, you know. But today, on a river like this, you know if there's going to be fish or not. You'll either get lots or none. Just depends where the shoals are. If you find a place where the shoals are, you're laughing. But today, we're not. Probably later though. We're heading off to the Mole now, which is part of the Brockham Angling Society. They've got a sort of stretch of the Mole, if you like, and well, that's there for fishing. So there's a bit of the Mole which we're going to go to now, and we'll meet you there. Well, we're now fishing at a part of the stretch of the river, private river for me, really. Not many people know about it. It's a very small stretch, very, very shallow as well. I have seen a barbel coming along here as well a few months back. I'm really just fishing with quiver tip and maggots, and I'll just be slowly on the swim, building it up a little bit, putting a few maggots out, seeing what we can do really. But it's a lovely part of the area just here. We've got a golf club above it, and we own the fishing rights to fish this part. So we're on a very simple method really. I've literally just got a weight and size 14 hook with 2 maggots, which I'll show you a bit later on, but there's no real need to show you now the rig I'm using. So We come from the Thames, as you know, Walton, which was pants, to be quite honest with you. But we're here now to do some fishing, revolving around, you know, around this. So you know, I'm hopeful actually. There's, you know, it's very shallow, but it doesn't matter if it's shallow, deep, high, whatever. If there's water here, fish will be here. And actually, I think I can see a barbel down there. Yes, that is. Wow. I'm going to see if I can cast out to him and get him. Hopefully, I'll be back with a fish. Hopefully it'll be a barbel or a chub. A nice big chub would also be nice. And we'll see what we can do. Well, that's the rod there. We haven't had any bites yet, but I'm hopeful actually. The probably max depth is probably only about 3 foot max. But that's the thing with rivers, is you just gotta persevere with them. And I think hopefully today that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna sort of film the tip and just wait until it goes round, but sadly that could be a long wait. It's always the way though, isn't it? I mean, you know, you get a big take and you're not filming it, and then when you are filming it, nothing happens. And that's what I've always found quite hard when I'm filming fishing, is that sort of the take. I find that really hard to film, because you know, it's like when you're eating a sandwich, a carp will take your rod in, and when you're waiting for the bite, it never happens. And then when you've ignored the rod for a minute, it just takes it in. So really, it's just, I suppose, keep the camera on the tip for as long as we can until the battery runs out. But it's a lovely part of the river, this though. I mean, the River Mole, it's, you know, you've got, I mean, it's a very small river. It's not, doesn't stretch for very long. It's one of the smaller rivers in the UK. But you know, every river there's fish. I mean, tiny little streams, there'll be fish, but they might not be big. But occasionally you might get a big chub or barbel coming down, and you might just get lucky. But I don't know if we're going to get this take. Oh, there you go. There was a bite there. Oh, ow, ain't it? I was just going to strike there, but I thought I'll wait a second, see if it comes back. I don't think it's going to want to come back. I should have struck right in the middle of that, really. Oh well. But that goes against what I've just said, really. They are. The fish are here. Just got to fish for them, and keep the camera on the tip, and we might get one. But no, I mean, I'm just fishing with maggots today, and we're just chucking out a few casters, maggots, a couple of boilies, just to give a bit of sense and smell, you know. And we're just flicking a couple out. I'm walking along the bank as well, and if you walk along the bank as well, especially here, it's a very big drop, it's a sudden drop, and so you can look over the fish if they are there, and you can look over where your bait is standing and see if there's any fish around it. You can throw them out, you know, without having to sort of wade up and disturb possibly the swim. So, you know, feed with maggots. We'll keep the feed going in a few hours and see if we're going to get one. I'm confident we'll get a couple of fish. I'm hoping we're going to get a big chub. There's not too many barbel on this river, but there's a couple. You know, I saw one last time I was here. It's a decent sized one, and sadly it never took my bait. But it was a pretty cold day as well, so I don't think it was on the hunt for food so much. But yeah, so I suppose we'll just have to wait and wait until that quiver whacks around. I mean, I've had a bite, so you know, I'm hopeful for the session now. I've just got to wait for it to really go and strike it and hook that big fish. So until then, ta-da. What can I say? After all that time, you know, spent probably 3 or 4 hours today fishing. Not a single fish. Well, one fish, that's a lie. One loach. But you know, that gave me time to, you know, reflect, and it gave me a little bit of time just to think about the fishing. Where would they be in this sort of time? Where would I, if I was a fish, where would I go? And quite simply, I won't be lively. I'll be in the most warmest area, relaxing, and that's really what I think a lot of fish are doing. But also in that time, it also gave me time to just have a little wander. And as I was having a wander, I found, well, not found, I saw 2 otters sort of skimming along, and so you got a bit of footage of that, and so you'll be able to see a couple of otters on the mole. And then after that, a fox came 10 yards behind me, and I recorded that, so you'll be able to see some of that. So it hasn't been a totally pointless day, but it has been a little bit disappointing. I would have hoped, you know, there'd be a few more fish. There would have been, you know, a few fish, but as we know with fishing, that's definitely not the case all the time. You know, that just doesn't happen. You know, but you know, that just, as I said, it doesn't happen all the time. And with rivers, you've got to, as I say, persevere and just keep going. It is late winter now. It's getting into early spring, but not yet. I mean, it's March. You know, it's March now. It is March. So it's getting late spring. You know, early spring. Sorry, late winter. And it's certainly not the best of days I've had fishing. But it's also not the worst, because some days you have nothing. I mean, today I've only had one little loach, and that was it. But you know, you've got to keep persevering, like I have been. We've got 3 rods out now, 2 on maggot, 1 on a barbel pellet thing. It's really good. They're really good quality baits we're putting in now, and we're just going to see what we can get. So, but we're not staying. We're probably going to be here for another half an hour, 45 minutes. And if I do get a fish, I'll certainly be recording it. Well, as you can see, there's this beaver just going in the water. There he is. And that's giving me a bit of time to think. There he's off. The thing is, I take a lot of... Let's try and chase him down the river. I've got to be quite quiet because they're quite timid. And there he is. Just by that bit of thing sticking out, that little white head. There he is. Where's he gone? Nah, they're quite tame, aren't they? See? Nope. Hey, he's coming even closer now.
Hmm.